Oh boy, oh boy. My power's been out for like bordering on 2 days now. Not quite, but we're getting there. Supposedly it'll be back on in a couple hours. Do I believe that? Not really. Speaking of bad predictions, I considered making an actually interesting video today. Like an actually interesting one. Like philosophy of time, phenomenal consciousness, blah, 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 blah. And then I used my precious cellular data to get on Twitter, X, whatever, and I encountered the ultimate match made in hell of predictions, that being tech bros in regards to the economy. Has there ever been a match made in hell that has been more hellish than that? It's hard to say so. Arguably, like the Christians predicting the rapture are more accurate. Not quite, but you know, they're in competition for the title, I'll say that much. So, why is it impossible, in principle, for all human jobs to be automated by AI? Am I claiming that it is, in principle, impossible for AI to supersede all human intellectual and physical capability? No. That's a pretty hard case to make. The arguments for that are few and far in between. I can think of like one, and it's sketchy-ish. So that's pretty weird. It would be it's unlikely on its face that an arbitrary couple billion years of evolution producing bipedal apes are pushing any hard limits of the universe with respect to cognition or physical abilities. That would just be kind of odd, unless it's a domain-specific thing where there just isn't much room for improvement in the domain because of fixed information or something like this. In general, I think it's pretty hard to make a case that, in principle, AI could not supersede human capabilities in that respect. So why would I say it's impossible for AI to automate all human labor? Well, guess what, guys? You don't get hired for a job based on your abilities. It's intertwined, but you actually get hired for a job based on the demand for the job. What does that mean? Well, it means that something can be better than you in every cognitive or physical aspect, and still you get the job because of an external preference of the end consumer that the competitor is unable to meet. In this case, in the case of AI, it will be sincerely just the fact that the AI is not human. All right, this is a bit vacuous and abstract. Let's get specific. Chess players are not going to go anywhere. How do I know this? Because, like, Kasparov lost to Deep Blue in, like, 1997, and chess players are now making more money than they did back then. They still don't make a lot of money, but they make more than when they were actually better than the computers. So, you know, basketball players, you're gonna pay to see LeBron James play till he's 100. You would. I know you would. Curry, 110. That's not to say there won't be a robotics basketball league. There probably will, and I probably will watch. But that doesn't mean that there won't be a successful, thriving human league that humans are willing to pay for because humans compose it. What's another one? React fucking YouTubers are probably still going to be around. I wish they wouldn't be. Maybe I wish that AI would take us all out so that they wouldn't exist. But they will. Why? Because they're going to get advertising money because people are going to want to see reactions to the things that they like and shows that they've seen. It's just, I assure you, will happen. Speed and Kai, their dumbass Minecraft stream that's been going on for what, like a decade? People are still going to watch that. And even if you simulated a perfect simulation, that's rather redundant, but if you simulated a perfect simulation using AI of Speed and Kai doing that stream, as long as people knew it was a simulation, they would still prefer and go watch the real thing. How do I know this? Because I'm a human being, you're a human being, and we know, and I just don't even feel the need to justify that preferences like this exist. They do. You care about seeing someone similar to yourself do it rather than a sort of more abstract algorithm. Similar experiences, similar background, yada yada. There just will be a niche, and maybe not even a niche, perhaps a very large domain for people to still have jobs in this respect. And now I know what you're saying. You're thinking, well, you're naming chess. Not everyone's going to be a professional chess player. Not everyone's going to be a professional YouTuber or content creator, yada, yada, yada. You're correct. But use your head for a second. Can you really not come up with a single, like, potential job that would exist in an age of abundance given the fact that, like, can you not think of any where a human is preferred to an AI? Like, you wouldn't? I can. Here's a dumb example. GTA 6. Let's say that AI exponentially, superintelligence arrives, it goes off the walls, it solves all the diseases, yada, yada, yada. We're rich, or wealth has been created, I should say. Do you really not think that there won't be people willing to pay you to, like, play a shift as an avatar in a GTA 6 server? I'm being serious. Do you think that's never gonna happen? I'll bet you. I'll bet you. I think that there are an indefinite amount of jobs that we could construct after we reach such a remarkable world. And I'll go one step further. If we reach such a remarkable world with the arrival of super intelligent AI, if jobs and the transition period are your biggest concern, we're actually in a pretty good place. The biggest concerns are like Terminator, virus creation, cyber hack security concerns, litigation up the wazoo. There are a lot of problems. And there are problems with regards to jobs, but they're way down the list. And I think they're easier to solve. Again, maybe a UBI will be necessary. Perhaps. Probably. But these are not intractable problems. And if they are among your foremost concerns, I would recommend you reevaluate and switch to different concerns. Yeah, this just never was a compelling... Tech Bros, they only analyze one side of the equation without attempting to... It's just so easy to just ask yourself, why do jobs exist? Why does this job exist? Why does that job exist? What is the common thread that links them? And if you just ask yourself that question and you introspect a little bit, you'll come to the conclusion that there's nothing inherently expected with the arrival of AI that would, even extremely advanced AI, that would eliminate all possible jobs, that no job would ever be preferred to be a human. You yourself don't believe that, because you yourself, when you watch things, or when you do things, would prefer there to be a human doing it, even if they're quote-unquote inferior. But guess what decides inferiority in a market setting? And consumer preferences. So the human won't actually be inferior to the AI because it has an intrinsic quality of being a human. So as long as that transparency is maintained between consumer and producer, it won't be the end of the world. It might suck, there would be confusion, perhaps government intervention will be required, but it's manageable. And if your biggest concern is finding something to do, that's a good spot to be in. So there's my 2 cents ramble for the day. I hope you took some insight from it, even though I'm not very insightful. You know, if super intelligent AI arrives and is like way better than me in every, capacity, will I have an existential crisis? My ego will be hurt for sure. But that's if my ego getting hurt is the biggest concern, and a transition period where jobs are hard to come by and there requires restructuring of society. That's not a bad place to be. That is my firm belief. So do with that what you will, and have a good one.